Fact 1. The world's oldest known living land animal is a Seychelles giant tortoise named Jonathan, who was born in 1832 and currently lives on the island of St. Helena at 194 years old. Fact 2. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not actually four-sided. It is the only pyramid in the world with 8 sides, featuring subtle concave indentations on each face that are only visible from the air during the equinoxes. Fact 3. There is a gravity hill in New Brunswick, Canada, where the surrounding landscape creates an optical illusion that makes water appear to flow uphill and cars appear to roll toward the summit while in neutral. Fact 4. A single teaspoon of a pulsar, a highly magnetized, rotating neutron star, would weigh approximately 100 million tons on Earth due to the extreme compression of its matter. Fact 5. The Wright brothers only flew together in the same plane once in their entire lives. Their father, fearing a double tragedy, made them promise never to fly together unless it was a special occasion. Fact 6. The Sargasso Sea is the only sea on Earth that does not have a single coastline. Its boundaries are defined entirely by 4 major ocean currents that trap a massive mass of seaweed in the North Atlantic. Fact 7. In 1948, a Swiss engineer named George de Mestral went for a hike and noticed burrs sticking to his dog's fur. This observation led directly to the invention of Velcro. Fact 8. The Mount Everest is not actually the point on Earth closest to space. Because the Earth bulges at the equator, the summit of Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador is technically closer to the stars. Fact 9. The first commercial website ever launched was Info, CERN, CH in 1991. It contained instructions on how to use the World Wide Web and a directory of other existing sites. Fact 10. A blue whale's heartbeat can be detected from over 2 miles away using specialized underwater sonar equipment, as their hearts are the size of a standard bumper car. Fact 11. The Roman Colosseum was originally designed to be flooded with water so that the Romans could stage naumatia, massive, full-scale naval battles involving real ships and thousands of sailors. Fact 12. There is a planet called 55 Cancri E that is twice the size of Earth and is believed to be made largely of graphite and diamond due to its high carbon content and extreme pressure. Fact 13. The Hindenburg disaster in 1937 was not caused by a single spark, but by the highly flammable aluminum flake coating on the airship's skin, which acted like rocket fuel once ignited. Fact 14. An ostrich's eye is larger than its entire brain. It is the largest eye of any land animal, measuring about 2 inches across. Fact 15. The Tower of London once housed a royal menagerie that included polar bears, lions, and an elephant. The polar bear was allowed to swim in the River Thames on a long leash to catch fish. Fact 16. In the 1890s, the pneumatic tube system in New York City was used to transport not just mail, but also small packages and even live cats as a test of the system's speed and safety. Fact 17. The Great Barrier Reef is the largest living structure on Earth and is the only living thing that can be seen clearly from the surface of the moon without a telescope. Fact 18. A tarantula can live for up to 2 years without eating a single meal, provided they have access to water. Fact 19. The Golden Gate Bridge was originally intended to be a ferry terminal. The bridge was only proposed after the city realized a ferry system couldn't handle the projected 20th century traffic. Fact 20. There is a species of ant, the trapjaw ant, that can snap its mandibles shut at 140 miles per hour, which is the fastest recorded movement of any predatory appendage in the animal kingdom. Fact 21. The Statue of Liberty is made of copper that is only 2.4 millimeters thick, roughly the thickness of 2 pennies stacked together. Fact 22. In 1971, A biologist discovered that woodpeckers have a specialized bone called the hyoid that wraps around their entire skull to act as a seatbelt for their brain during high-impact pecking. Fact 23. The Great Fire of London in 1666 officially killed only 6 people, though the actual death toll was likely much higher as the poor were not included in the official records. Fact 24. A hummingbird is the only bird in the world that can fly backwards. Their shoulder joints are rotatable, allowing their wings to move in a figure-8 pattern. Fact 25. The Eiffel Tower was almost demolished in 1909, but it was saved because the French military realized it was the perfect height to serve as a giant radio telegraph antenna. Fact 26. There is a lake in Palau called Jellyfish Lake, where millions of golden jellyfish have evolved without stingers because they have had no natural predators for thousands of years. Fact 27. The Pantheon in Rome still holds the record for the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome, nearly 2,000 years after it was completed. Fact 28. A single tree can produce enough oxygen in 1 year to support 2 adult human beings. Fact 29. The Titanic's fourth funnel was a fake. It was added purely for aesthetic reasons to make the ship look more powerful and symmetrical. Fact 30. In 1912, a man named Franz Reichelt jumped off the Eiffel Tower wearing a homemade parachute suit to test its effectiveness. He unfortunately plummeted to his death. Fact 31. The honeybee is the only insect in the world that produces food that is consumed by humans and never spoils. Edible honey was found in 3,000-year-old Egyptian tombs. Fact 32. The Vatican City has its own football team, its own post office, and its own radio station, despite being smaller than a standard 18-hole golf course. Fact 33. A cloud can weigh over 1 million pounds, but it stays afloat because the weight is spread across a massive volume of air that is denser than the water droplets themselves. Fact 34. The Chichen Itza Pyramid in Mexico produces a chirp sound that mimics the Quetzal bird when someone claps their hands at the base of the limestone stairs. Fact 35. Sea otters hold hands while they sleep so they don't drift away from each other in the ocean currents. Fact 36. The oldest musical instrument ever found is a 43,000-year-old flute made from the thigh bone of a juvenile cave bear. Fact 37. The International Space Station travels at 17,500 miles per hour, meaning the astronauts on board see a sunrise and a sunset every 90 minutes. Fact 38. A snail can have up to 25,000 teeth, located on its tongue, called a radula, which it uses to scrape food off surfaces. Fact 39. The Great Sphinx of Giza was originally buried up to its neck in sand for thousands of years. It was only fully excavated in 1925. Fact 40. In 1859, a solar superstorm, the Carrington event, was so powerful that it caused telegraph wires to burst into flames and allowed people in the Caribbean to see the northern lights. Fact 41. The platypus has no stomach. Its esophagus connects directly to its intestines, and it uses gravel in its mouth to grind up food instead of stomach acid. Fact 42. The Leaning Tower of Pisa started leaning while the second story was being built in 1178 because the foundation was set in soft, unstable subsoil. Fact 43. A bolt of lightning can reach 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is significantly hotter than the surface of the sun, 10,000 degrees. Fact 44. The greatest feat of human engineering in the ancient world, the Pharos Lighthouse of Alexandria, used a massive mirror to reflect sunlight by day and fire by night, visible for 30 miles. Fact 45. There is a species of glass frog found in Central and South America whose skin is so translucent that you can see its heart beating and its organs functioning through its belly. Fact 46. The Empire State Building was constructed in just 410 days during the Great Depression, which is a speed that modern construction teams still struggle to match. Fact 47. Koalas have unique fingerprints that are so similar to human fingerprints that they have occasionally been mistaken for human prints at crime scenes. Fact 48. The Mariana Trench is so deep that if you dropped Mount Everest into it, the peak would still be over a mile underwater. Fact 49. A single teaspoon of honey represents the lifetime work of approximately 12 honeybees. Fact 50. The first mobile phone call was made in 1973 by Martin Cooper, a Motorola executive who called his rival at Bell Labs to brag that he was speaking from a handheld device.